To the channel. Thanks for joining us today. Today, Mike and I are going to do a breakdown of the Kaynan versus Rodolfo fight. Basically, we're going to go through it. We're going to look at the footage that we have, and then we're actually going to talk about the possibility of a Kaynan versus Gordon Ryan rematch that could possibly happen down the road. Is he good enough? Does he have the skill set to actually have the rematch and be successful? But remember, if you guys like the channel, please remember to subscribe and hit that like button. So, Mike, how you doing, buddy? You good?
I am good. And we also have to look at the possibility of, will Gordon Ryan actually fight Kaynan? And will that footage of the Rodolfo camp be released in 2021?
Yeah, that's a big thing. Yeah, we want to kind of talk about that, and we'll break that down. But first, we're going to break down this match.
It's going handshake. These are two gentlemen that could clearly destroy me and Aaron in a 2-on-1 handicap jiu-jitsu match.
Yeah, it's really good. All right, so we got Kaynan here. He's got really pushing for that head control to get that underhook, but he's really looking at that head control more than anything.
It's almost like a tie plum right now. He's trying to fight for his inside control. He's getting that. He's going for the head. Yeah, he snapped down Rodolfo there a little bit, and they're going back to the center. Jockeying for an inside position, standing, and probably looking to set up some sort of wrestling shot from this.
He's really starting to control him, though. Like, he's really pushing the pace towards him, and he's not really allowing Rodolfo to, like, get a spot.
So here we go. He's got the head control.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. 2-on-1 Russian tie. Shout out to Soviet Russia. And he's on the back just like that. That was 57 seconds in on this video here. He's got the hooks. He's got the back. Now he's looking for, I think he might try to get a body triangle off of this.
Yeah, he's not able to get that second hook in or get that. Oh, now he got that second hook in trapped.
Now he's got it. There we go. And he's looking to he's looking to peel the elbow. He's looking to hand fight, and he's trying to look to get under the neck right now. But, like, this is an extremely bad spot to be in, especially face down with somebody on your back, because your mobility is very limited, especially with a body triangle. You're just carrying somebody's body weight. No matter how strong you are, it's very difficult to deal with. Rodolfo is turned up.
He's got that full body triangle now, and he's really starting to hand trap right from there. That's very good. And he's really got him incapacitated. He's not moving much. And again, this is world-class grappling here.
World-class back take there. Now he's looking to – the big thing is the hand fight now. So whoever wins the hand fight kind of under his left armpit, and he's looking to control that left wrist. So if he's peeling that down, he can isolate that and then go under the neck. Gordon Ryan, for example, and the Danaher guys are very good at that kind of back attack system where they're able to clear the hands. So everybody knows the rear naked choke is coming, but how you get there is what separates the world-class guys from the not world-class guys. So Rodolfo's now standing. Kaynan is riding his back. He just sinked right under. He just shot his arm under, stood, and then he got the choke. That's it.
That is just amazing. It's just to think of, like, how quick he was able to get his back for one thing, and then obviously when he stands up and he's just able to slip that hand right in and just drive for that choke, and that gets the strangle.
What were your thoughts on this match? Because I thought I had Kaynan honestly as a favorite just because he's a lot more involved in the grappling world right now, and Rodolfo's a lot more focused on MMA right now. So I thought, Kaynan would have an advantage. I didn't see this match being as dominant of a win as this was, because he got a rear naked choke in 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, I would agree. Like, I think maybe I put him as a slight favorite. I didn't think it was going to be as decisive as it was, right? Because I figured they were going to have a good competitive match. They've had a match before as well, so I figured they'd have an idea of, like, what each other were going to do. But the simple fact that, again, Kaynan's been focusing on strictly grappling. Rodolfo's awful, like, on MMA right now, and there's levels to this game, right? And again, like, we're talking about two world-class competitors, but also an individual who's not a slouch. Like, and he made him look like he hasn't grappled in a long time. And I think that's where you're really starting to see the difference, where it's guys that are focused strictly on grappling. You're going to be able to take these guys that had really good, successful careers and just be able to have their way with them right now.
I think that's what separates right now. I think you're really starting to see a divide even more, where you're starting to see a lot more specialists. So somebody like Kaynan, who's specifically focused on jiu-jitsu, just training jiu-jitsu, and somebody like Rodolfo, who's, you know, he's a world-class jiu-jitsu competitor, but he's not as focused on, you know, like the sport jiu-jitsu side of things. He's focused a lot more on like MMA. He's focused probably a lot more on striking. So there's really a big, there's starting to become a bigger and bigger separation between those two things. I was very surprised, honestly, by this match. I didn't see it being as dominant for Kaynan as what we just saw in a 2.5 minute submission win, which I think is insane.
No, for sure. Like I thought it was going to, like I said, I thought it was going to be a little bit more competitive, but also I figured it would, at one point there would be that actual grappling match on the floor where they were kind of trying to fight for positioning, especially with pressure. But again, it never even got to that point. It was that simple snap down and it was that back take. And then that's it. He just had no answer for the body triangle, the hand ties, obviously just that hand wrestling, and just when he stood up, it was over at that point. When that body triangle was kind of set up, you could see that it was like, I don't have a solution for this right now, and it's over.
So then the big question is, Gordon Ryan's probably the number one pound for pound no-gi submission grappler, no-gi jiu-jitsu person in the world right now. I would say maybe Kaynan's probably up there for one of those, probably as number one contender, if you want to call it that. But how do you see that rematch going? Because they fought back in, I believe it was 2018 Pan Ams. I think it was the absolute final.
Yep.
Gordon ended up taking that, but it was also a close match up to that point where he eventually scrambled, took the back, and got a submission. Now, how does a rematch go? And also in what rule set? So are we looking at an ADCC rule set, an IBJJF rule set? Mm-hmm. Different strategies would be involved in each one. So
yeah,
how would a rematch like that go?
My take on it, I think it all depends. Again, like you said, I think a big thing is on rule set, right? I think if we're going to go ADCC rule set, I think it favors Gordon. I think if you're going to go into an IBJJF rule set, it favors Kaynan, right? So I think it's really going to depend on that. And I really think that's why Gordon is really kind of focusing on, hey, we're going to go into my rule set, the one that I want to. And again, where's his best rule set? No time limit, submission only, just so he can work his strategy, work his game to what he wants to do as a grappler, and maybe even ADCC, because that's where he's going to be the strongest as far as the rule set goes. I don't know if Kaynan's going to take that match though, because I think he wants to have a time limit on those matches more than anything, so he can strategize a little different.
I think there's a lot of posturing when it comes to like rule sets. So it's like, oh, I want you to do my rule set and it's no time limit. Or it's like, oh, I want you to do like IBJJF rule set. Or it's like, oh, why don't you fight in the gi, you pussy? There's a whole bunch of, different things and jabs kind of back and forth. But these guys actually also trained together, I think recently last year, they did a camp together. And allegedly, this is how it's going from one side, that the two trained together and it did not go Kaynan's way, according to Gordon. And there was supposed to be footage out, and there was supposed to be a DVD out. They're gonna film all the rounds, and they're gonna do all this whole thing. And now they're allegedly the tapes, the secret Rodolfo camp tapes are not being released for one reason or another. And basically what Gordon said is, unless you release these, I'm not gonna compete against you ever.
Yeah,
I will never accept a super fight with you, is basically what he's saying.
Yeah, so here's the latest post that he put up. Well, and I should say, all hearts go out to Gordon and the family, because obviously Bud Gord passed away. So Gordon and Ryan and Nikki, all the condolences to you guys, especially with your father passing away. But here's the latest post before that was Kaynan never made a peep about competing against me after I told him I'd only do it if we released a DVD of us training to help benefit veterans. Imagine how bad I must have been, how bad I must have beat the fuck out of him for him to be that scared of the tape getting out after he agreed. And then denying the proceeds would go to the wounded veterans again. The best part is I didn't even use my A game on camera. I waited till they had left, and then I turned it up in the very last day, and where I finished him 5 times in 6 minutes, all upper body. Offer still stands, Kaynan. He cost me and my friends a whole lot of time and money, and if he wants to compete in a no time limit match, we can, but only if he agrees to release the rolling footage of me from the Miami camp, NoGi and Gi. And I'll donate the proceeds to the DVD to the wounded vets. And then it became a whole thing. Oh, you only train in NoGi. And then everybody was jumping on this. Andre, Penne was
and
on
here
there, like,
we go. More jiu-jitsu drama.
Yeah, it just went crazy from there. That was like the second last. Yeah, that was the last post before today. So, yeah.
So here we are. Officially, who takes it? Gordon or Kaynan rematch, if it happens.
I think if it happens, I still I think Gordon has just gotten to another level right now. I mean, again, things change as far as like mindset goes and training and all that kind of jazz, especially with you have something tragic like that happen. I know he's in a different place right now. He's moved. But again, he's able to train properly. Right, because before he was in New York, he wasn't able to actually get any training in, so he's kind of sheltered himself that way. I still think Gordon could take it. It all depends on the rule set, though. I think, especially if you're going to go into a ADCC or no limit time limit submission only, I think Gordon has it. If we're going to go into any other time set where it's points or it's like a 15-minute match, I think then it favors Kaynan a little bit more.
Honestly, I would say it's very hard to bet against Gordon right now, even in any rule set. If it was IBJJF, if it was ADCC, I just think he's at another level right now. I think he's going to be very difficult to beat. I would have to. My money's on him until going forward. So it's really hard to bet against him at this point. He knows the game. It's basically like fighting a supercomputer. He knows what you're going to do in all the situations that he's going to put you in, and he has an answer to every single one. So it's like that classic, he's 5, like in chess, he's 5 moves ahead of you before you even know that he's 5 moves ahead of you. So
yeah.
My money's on Gordon. My money's honestly on Gordon. I don't see anybody beating him anytime soon. I think he's at another level.
Yeah, we did get a couple of responses from the question that we had. Basically, Austin Brown, he said, depends on the rule set. Mostly if it's a no limit time limit submission only, Gordon all the way.
I agree with that too. I would say Gordon has a bigger edge in a no time limit rule set or an EBI rule set or even an ADCC rule set. IBJJF would favor Kaynan a little bit more, but I would still give the advantage to Gordon there.
Yeah, I think so. So I think what we'll do is we'll put that in the chat as well, because I definitely want to see if there's anybody else that has a different opinions or if they have a different debate, especially if they even want to talk about the match that just happened, or even if they think about potential future matches, or even if we're going to ever get the Andre Galvao versus Gordon Ryan match and possibly ADCC.
That'll be a whole other topic.
2021. Oh, that'll be a whole other topic. So is this
ADCC maybe 2027 if COVID ever goes away? We'll see.
We will find out, but we'll definitely break those down, especially if we have. And this big thing is we're going to be doing a lot more breakdowns, and we have a lot more topics that we'll be discussing as we do these little chats and quick ones.
What do you guys think? Leave a comment below. Who do you have, Kaynan or Gordon Ryan, and why?
Hey, thanks, guys. And again, if you like the video, please remember to subscribe and hit the like button. Thank you very much, and we'll see you soon.